Let me tell you a little bit about what Jaron asked me to speak about, and that is realtor involvement and commitment and how it's interpreted in the American process. This is your country. It really is. You develop it, you build it, you transfer it from one person to another, you create a basis for everybody around the world to want to come here and live. This is why my dad came here from Europe. It's why my mother's parents came here from Europe. They came here not just for the freedom of thought, but that one positive commitment that they knew they couldn't have unless they were a very small percentage of the elite where they lived, and that is to have a place to live in, a home, a house, an apartment, a place they could raise their children, and ultimately be a member of the fabric of a community here in the United States. And you go across the country, and it is the same philosophy that brings people here today, over and over and over again. Let me tell you a story. I have 3 kids. One of which, by the way, if you have some prayers and thoughts, are going to Afghanistan in about 2 weeks. So keep him in your prayers and your thoughts. He's a great guy. They all are. But his commitment is to do the thing that he thinks is right. And so that's his commitment for about a 12 or 15 month stint. And when he comes back, he said, the one thing I want to do, I'll have some money saved up. The one thing I want to do is I want to buy a house. I want to buy a house. Not that I don't love you and Mom. Thank God he's leaving. But I want to buy a house. Not true. He's got his own apartment already. That's the fabric of what we do. That's what knits us together as a society. And when I hear about the tough times that we're going through today, and they are tough, the toughest times you will ever be measured by in the real estate business is today. Those will be your measures as things get better, because they always get better. They always do. So these tough times, in 40 years that I've been in the business, are absolutely the biggest test I've ever had in my entire life. These tough times will lead to a stronger, more resilient, more invested, just a smarter group of realtors in this community of realtors that we live in, whether it's in Utah or Wyoming or Florida or New Hampshire or California. See what I mean? So, my charge to you is that recognizing that these are difficult times, and certainly in 40 years I've seen some recessionary cycles, I've seen some interest rate spikes, but I've never seen the kind of investment that we've had here over the last 12 or 14 months, and the kind of recessionary cycle that those investments are contributing to over a longer period of time. However, having said all of that, I can tell you this, that the one thing that makes this country great, the one thing that makes this country resilient, the one thing that makes this country a stronghold is the concept of private property rights and your ability to be able to transfer real property. And there is, without undue government intervention. And there is no other group of folks that do it quite like you do. So when I talk to you about things like RPAC and the broker involvement program, I do that because I love the concept of being able to put my key in the door every morning and ply my trade without any problems. The real difference is that in many other parts of the world, you can't do that. We stand shoulder to shoulder with you to make sure that we ensure that is a privilege you continue to have in America as realtors. Our involvement over the longer period of time in your behalf on Capitol Hill and your local involvement on a state and local arena are pronounced in a lot of different issues, the latest of which has been our success in the banking issue. It has taken us 8 years to provide the appropriate information for the folks on Capitol Hill to be able to understand how important it is for you and your customers to have individual choice in America.